Yo, what is up, everybody? I'm Blitz5, aka Ray, and welcome to episode number 20 of the Final Circle podcast. Also co-hosted by one of my best friends in real life. His name is Andrew, aka Cypher5. That's his gamer tag. And we have a little bit of a milestone here, hitting episode number 20. We're very happy to be hitting this mark right now. We just started the podcast a couple months ago. So we want to continue on. We've been learning a lot about the podcast space, and it's just been a really fun time so far. And we also want to thank, if you guys have listened to any of the previous episodes, we really want to thank you guys for all of the continued support. We've had a lot of people sending in positive feedback, topics. And if you guys want to continue doing so, we really do appreciate that for real. You can do so by leaving a YouTube comment. You can message us on social media. I'm at Blitz5 on Twitter. You can pretty much find me anywhere at Blitz5 and message me, and I respond to all of the YouTube comments. That's at youtube.com/Blitz5. And the podcast itself, if you're new to the podcast or to my page or to the stream or anything, this is mostly a video game related podcast. We do talk about some other news, video game news, tech stuff. And in the beginning of this episode, we kind of talked about a little bit of everything. We started off with PlayStation 5, got some specs were leaked or announced. So we talked about the future of gaming in the console space. So between PS5 and what the next Xbox is going to be. We talked about E3. Andrew's going to be going to E3 in June, and some other tech related stuff. There's also Samsung dropped a new phone called the Fold, so we talked about that. So if you're interested in just the general tech world, maybe just stick around at the beginning of the podcast. If you're only here for PUBG and Battle Royale talk, then you're definitely going to want to maybe fast forward a little bit into like 25-30 minutes into the episode. Yeah, I think roughly like around 20-25 minutes, if I remember correctly. And that's basically about it. So if you guys want to support the podcast, you can do so for free by subscribing to my YouTube channel. That honestly does help me out a lot. And again, the podcast is available on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play in audio form if you want it there. And if you want to take your support to the next level, you can consider becoming a member on YouTube, which is sort of like a monthly Patreon subscription, but just directly through the YouTube channel. Or you can do a one-time donation through the Streamlabs link, which I'll leave pretty much everywhere. It's like a PayPal link through Streamlabs, which is where I stream through. We also have merch that you can buy. Some of it goes to me or directly to the podcast. And yeah, that's the best way to do it. Really, at this point, we'll be adding more stuff to the merch page. And, you can always message me if you feel like you want to support the podcast in some kind of other way. We're doing PUBG Xbox tournaments, the YouTube channel, the stream, and been having a lot of fun so far in 2019. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And yeah, let's just get right into it. All right, so let's I guess we got a lot of stuff we can talk about here. We can get started with some PUBG updates and this weapon mastery thing. We have a ban policy coming in, or a revised ban policy for PUBG on console. But I guess before that, dude, and just any general like video game talk or like PUBG related stuff before we get into all the newest PUBG news.
I mean, there's definitely some video game news. Maybe not just necessarily PUBG. I know PlayStation released some of their specs for the PlayStation 5 this week.
That's right. You know what I did? I did go in and kind of look that up really fast. I didn't watch like to listen to too many things about it, but I watched like one YouTuber's video and just some specs, right? I saw like 8K capability potentially, kind of like what the current consoles. It seemed like how like some of them are full 4K, some of them aren't. Like if you have an S. Because I'm sure they're not going to be running full 8K right off the bat, because
there's not likely.
Yeah,
TVs aren't even. I don't think they're gonna. Dude, your computers are having.
Yeah, there's like I can't really see that happening, but I guess they're gearing up for it. Like if you're going to make a new console, you need to be ready for like what's going to be next,
Yeah.
But that to me is a little bit of a stretch, but they said like most likely going to have an SSD. That to me seems like that's pretty much necessary at this point, especially when you see the big difference between like the standard OG or regular X and the loading times with PUBG. The SSD makes such a big difference, almost like shocking how much of a difference it makes to loading the game.
Yeah. And I think that obviously Microsoft has been pretty loud about coming out with 2 new consoles, and Sony, obviously when one starts talking about it, the other one's like, oh boy, we better start just talking about something. And then they'll probably throw some contracts together, and they haven't even actually built anything yet. They're like, oh, well, we're going to use an AMD, and we're definitely going to have SSDs. I feel like
Yeah.
that has to be given now in the future.
Yeah, I feel like they're almost like just throwing out specs to see what the other company will do sometimes, right? Or
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, who really knows what's going on because we're not in that industry, but it seems like at this early in the game, they probably have some ideas of things that they want to do and they throw things out there because then it really becomes a race now. Like if Xbox, because they haven't announced yet, if Xbox stats are under PlayStation now, they're probably freaking out. If they're over, they're probably like, dude,
Mhm.
we're gonna slam PlayStation, like with this
Yeah.
announcement. It's like now there's so much stuff going on probably internally between the two teams, the two companies. That's probably pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know Microsoft is making the two new consoles. They're going to make a lighter version and a
Cheaper,
heavier,
yeah.
yeah, cheaper and a more
That makes sense.
expensive
I mean,
version.
I would imagine or hope that PlayStation does that as well, just for
Yeah,
to make it more accessible for people who want to get it. I guess. I mean, I'm an Xbox fan, but I'm still support like PlayStation.
yeah.
I guess.
I think they should do it, but I don't know if they have the bandwidth to do it like
Yeah.
Microsoft does. That's also a weighing factor.
Yeah.
So I think that Microsoft though is not going to make the mistake they made with Xbox One, and they're just going to go very heavy.
Yeah, I think they're
Uh,
gonna go like balls to the wall for sure.
Yeah,
You
I
would
think
think
so.
so.
Like the
Mhm.
Xbox One X was balls to the wall, and I think they're going bigger. And someone told me that I didn't confirm this, that Xbox is all digital. The new Xbox One, the new not the new one, but there is a new Xbox One S that is all digital. They removed the disk drive, but the next generation will be all digital. Like it won't have a disk drive, but I don't know for sure if that's true or not. I didn't get to really look at it. And
Oh,
PlayStation is making it have a disk drive. There's have a disk drive and backwards compatible.
well, I don't know about the new Xbox being that way, but Xbox just put out that
Yeah,
Xbox One S digital
yeah.
version,
Which
and
that funny commercial.
I don't know if I saw the commercial, but I saw it like on Twitter. So people on Twitter were getting mad, like, why would they make that? It's so late into the game, like it's however many years, it's 6 years
Yeah,
after, it doesn't have a disc. Like, who's this appealing to? And I thought like that to me, I thought the exact opposite when I first saw that. I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like Xbox is about to be like the lifespan could be over in 2020. Like they could announce a new Xbox. I'm hoping it's in 2021, but it could be next year. So for
yeah,
somebody who wants to play an Xbox One really bad, they can spend $250. No, I haven't bought a disc in forever. They get three
yeah.
free games. I mean, the games aren't like brand new, but you get three free games for $250. I mean, that's like a pretty good deal if you just haven't got an Xbox yet and you want to play now, or your Xbox
Yeah,
just broke, or I don't know. So you know what I mean? Something like that. Like
I mean,
trade in
yeah,
your OG Xbox, get this. I don't think that's
exactly.
big of a
I
deal.
don't understand the issue. I mean, Twitter gets people on Twitter get upset about everything. Like, I can't remember the last time I bought a disc. Maybe I bought Battlefield 5, which was a disc, but like, I don't buy disc games. And I think that the thing is also, I think that they're kind of probing around to see maybe that if all digital is well received,
Yeah.
for the next generation. I think that it's smart. In reality, everything's going digital. As bad as I feel for GameStop, whatever, times change. But the thing is, it saves space inside the system. It's cost savings a little bit. Like it may not be expensive to have a
No,
disc.
it's a huge cost savings for them, but I don't know if
Yeah,
we'll see it on the consumer side though. But
yeah,
for
but I mean, it's a
them, it's
cost saving
huge.
and yeah, and it's space saving. So you have a little bit more space. That like the drive it takes up so much space in there when it's
and
already so
and
small.
and it's got to be it's money. It's money that
Yeah,
goes into the Xbox. So
hmm
like I don't know
you're
how much a
freeing up
disk
some
drive
money.
costs, but it's
I
got to
mean, even
be
if it costs $30 to them or $10, it's still
something.
money in it. And I think like it just creates more problems than it solves in reality for them. And
Yeah.
with and I think Microsoft is going the way that they're going to be a lot of just cloud-based content as well. So I think that's Microsoft is going to kind of be the
Game
way that
Pass,
Google,
all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be very digital, and that's probably where it's going. And I think PlayStation doesn't. I think that's the one thing PlayStation doesn't really take huge risks like Microsoft. Like they know their fan base, which is smart. It's just two different strategies, and they're like, oh, we're gonna have a. They'll do if Microsoft doesn't have a disc tray. You know damn well PlayStation probably will, and they're like, oh, we're backwards compatible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that it's just a play to tug on the heartstrings of the people that are like still attached to
No,
discs.
same thing.
But you
That's
know what
funny.
I mean? Like I think they're like, oh, like all these people get upset like on Twitter. We're gonna do the opposite, and they're just like, oh wow, the PlayStation knows what the fans want, and it's just like, Not really. I mean, what I think it's just like a different approach to get customers.
Yeah, I agree with you. Remember when Xbox One first came out and people freaked out about how, like, when they announced it, about how it was becoming like the entertainment system and like the
Yeah,
Connect? People got so mad about that. But you know what's crazy is that like it ended up like they gave up on it. But it
yeah,
was first when you would say like hello Xbox or whatever, turn on Xbox,
yeah.
and like
Xbox on.
Xbox on, and then you could change your channel. But hardcore gamers were like, oh my God, it's
Oh,
Xbox. Like, you're like, what the
oh,
hell,
my
dude? Like,
computer can you can't use Google on my computer.
like, what
Like
the
what?
hell, dude? People freaked out about that.
I know it was a weird experience in the gaming industry. I feel like they just
Yeah.
tried something different, and I think that's like the thing is like I use my Xbox for everything. I don't have cable in my room. I watch Netflix. I watch Hulu. All that stuff. So like, in a way, they were right. That
That it
people
was
use.
becoming, yes, that it was becoming an all-in-one entertainment
They
system. You're
see
right. They kind of
people.
were right. Yeah.
They're looking at probably how many
And
people
they
on
were kind of right
Xbox
because
360
look at Alexa. Everybody
Yeah,
uses Alexa now. I mean, I refuse to use that shit in my house, but
yeah,
or
me
have it in my
too.
house. But
I
like,
don't
they
trust
were
that
pretty
bitch.
much right. They actually were.
They're
If you think
100%
about it,
right.
that's
Look at
hilarious.
PlayStation TV, dude.
Yeah, it's so funny. They actually were so right.
PlayStation now has a TV program. They're
Yeah.
100% right.
The only thing they weren't right about though is that people really do
The
not care
Connect.
about the Connect. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
care
no,
about the
that
Connect.
was a bad play.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that they were right in that end. And I think what they were probably doing is collecting data and they see, dude, people are on Netflix all day on Xbox 360. People are watching Hulu, all these
yeah,
apps, and they're not even playing games. We need to make this more focused on those people too. Like make it a more like, and that's, I think they achieved that with the Xbox One. I just don't think it was well received in the beginning. But I
yeah.
guarantee you all those people that were like, oh, so bad, like, and now they're using it to watch Netflix. I'm like, dude, like, you don't do other things on your computer. You don't use Word or Excel. Like, it's the same thing. It's just
It's
different. You
just,
know what
yeah,
I
it's an
mean?
extra thing. Yeah. No, so true. And another thing we have to think about is after Google, what is it called? Google Stadia. Like
Yeah,
Xbox needs to be prepared for that too. So like they need to think about like you what you were just saying, the cloud and being prepared to
yeah,
have that whole thing. And if a system doesn't do that, like it wouldn't happen because it seems like PlayStation is beating Xbox right now in terms of like sales. I think more
yeah,
people in the US have PlayStations than they do have Xboxes, but like
yes,
PlayStation could fall behind in the next generation if they were to miss a big leap like that because they don't want to shake things up too much, you know?
yeah.
So you
So
never know.
that's definitely a thing. I know that I've read many, like an article from Bloomberg actually that was how I think we've talked about this a little bit, but Google Stadia, and they looked at a couple metrics like their server footprint, which is just meaning like how many server locations worldwide they have,
Yeah.
and like their content on their servers, like video game content. And obviously, Microsoft had the biggest server footprint, and it also had the
You were
most
saying
gaming
this. Yeah,
content.
you were saying this
Yeah,
recently. Yeah.
and then you have next was Sony, but Sony's issue is that they lease all their servers from like Amazon, so they don't own any of them, and they actually Amazon doesn't have that big of a server footprint, and then so like and then Google is the opposite. They have a decent sized server footprint, but they don't
Mhm.
have games on them. And the thing is, for Sony to do cloud gaming, as Google has and Microsoft is going to do, they need to upgrade all their servers in AWS. And it's expensive because now they're leasing a more expensive server. They don't own their servers like Microsoft and Google. So this just
Yeah.
presents a different problem,
No, for
you
sure.
know?
It's interesting. I mean, that's a whole other side to it that like most gamers aren't thinking about that probably, right? Right. I mean, I don't normally
Yeah.
either. So
So, I mean, I think we'll see like what happens. I'm interested to see. I'm obviously gonna buy an Xbox, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, I mean, if everything is going well with the YouTube channel and stream, I will definitely be most
Buying
likely. I
both.
don't want to say definitely, but I'll most likely be buying both. Just because I feel like it'd be nice to have that for streaming, creating content and stuff like that, and playing
I
with other
agree. Yeah,
people.
yeah, I
But
agree.
otherwise, you know that if it wasn't for that stuff, if I had to choose one, I would just go Xbox, just because all of us are on there. Unless Xbox really made a
Shit
big
console.
fail or something and everyone was like, dude, we're all getting PlayStation now, like obviously we would do that and maybe
Yeah,
take a break from Xbox, but otherwise without that scenario we'd probably stay on there. But it would be interesting to see. I feel like again, we're not like, we don't need a new console right now, and I feel like PlayStation is going to
no,
rush this. If it wasn't for PlayStation, I feel like back a generation ago, the
yeah,
360 would have been around another year or two,
yeah,
and they announced it early that time too, And I think this time they're trying the same strategy, and I just don't think it's going to work the same because, like we said, I know we're kind of beating this topic to like a dead horse, but like I think that Xbox is really going to come in hot this time, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think they're backing down this year,
No.
or at least the next couple of years. I think that they've really reinvented what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And even this is like another topic we cover, like going to E3, man. PlayStation's not showing up to E3.
Yeah.
Xbox is, and it's not a big deal, but it is like a little bit of a big deal.
Yeah, and I read today that Microsoft is expected to announce the new Xbox at E3, so you're going to see that live.
I won't be at that event. Apparently,
really?
So you
it's across the street or something, right?
It's across the street, but you get to go in for free if you have an Xbox, if you have the pass to go to the E3. They have their own lounge thing. It's just that I looked at going to the Xbox event, but like that'd be so cool, but you had to like get into a lottery back in like December.
Oh wow, really? Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah, to get into it.
Okay.
And like it's not like super hard to get into. It's just that you have to
sign up beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had no idea. So, but I'll go over there. I'm sure they'll have it on display, and you know what I mean. They'll have it out. That'd be really awesome. So that'd be cool.
It's just gonna be cool to be at the same event while all that stuff is going on. I think I think it's gonna be an interesting time this year.
Yeah, and that's like the kind of time you would want to go is like when they're announcing consoles and stuff like that. Really.
Yeah, yeah, because then other people, like we're late in the console cycle. There's going to be some cool game stuff. It should be definitely pretty interesting.
Yeah, it will be. So we'll see. But I just I wish Sony was showing up. It would be cool to have that like old feeling of like rivalry there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but, and I wonder what will happen on the Nintendo side. It's kind of the forgotten console still. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're not even there either. I don't think.
Really?
Actually,
I didn't know. I forgot. I didn't look.
I mean, I wouldn't notice if they were there or not there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
yeah.
I may notice when I was there. I was like, wait a minute. Flying home, I'll be like, wait, I didn't see any Nintendo things.
Yeah, I haven't played my Switch shoot in a while, so that's kind of a bummer since January.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I mean, we played a little bit of that new game. What was it? Super Smash, like the new Super Smash one.
Yeah.
But it's just hard. It's like it's not as I don't know. I just think like I'm gonna go play PUBG or something. I don't know. And we played Mario Party for a while. That was really fun. The new Mario Party was really good, I thought.
Yeah, those are great for like playing as like groups of people.
Or like friends come over or something, you just play Mario Party. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I know. And we'll definitely keep playing that because we play that with like my fiance's family and stuff sometimes. Like it's anyone can play. So that's what's so great about that.
Yeah, that's what Microsoft, I mean Nintendo does the best is like 4-player games, stuff like that. Like
and I was kind of thinking, I'm like, you know what, it kind of would feel nice to like play like a casual game sometimes. I just don't think I'm so focused on like just like all in on like PUBG and some of the other battle royales. Like I don't know if I even want to like spend time, but it would be nice to play like a casual game every once in a while. I really don't have a casual game that I'm playing. Hearthstone used to fill that void for me, but I just gave up on that game. But it was nice to like sit there, as much as like some people love it, some people make fun of Hearthstone, but to sit there and just like play a really slow card game was like really relaxing, because you're just like flipping cards on a computer. It's almost like playing solitaire, but against somebody, but more calculated.
Yeah. Obviously. I remember when I used to work at this one company, this girl that was like an intern, I would always like see her playing Hearthstone on her phone.
Really? Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, it's too funny. Yeah. She actually got like yelled at, like not yelled at, but like she had to get like talked to because she was like wearing like super inappropriate clothing to work. It was so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, we'd be lost.
Yeah, I remember sometimes I would walk into work and I would be playing Hearthstone, and sometimes like a game would go really quickly, and then sometimes they would take so long, like 25 minutes or something, and I would be like in this ranked game and I didn't want to lose or for whatever reason. So I would like go into work and then I would be like sitting down and someone would like come to talk to me and I'd be like, dude, like go away, like I'm trying to finish this game, and I'd like playing underneath my desk, like being like, okay. So then sometimes I would just like go into the bathroom and then like finish the game, and I'm like, dude, I'm such a loser. But I mean, everyone, if you're a mobile gamer, you've definitely been there where you're like sitting on the toilet playing your mobile game. I think everyone has been there at some point.
Yeah, it's like that PewDiePie video where he's playing PUBG Mobile and he's like in the bathroom. He's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I don't think I've seen it. That's funny though.
That was hilarious. Yeah, it's like when it first came out. He was like sitting on his like his desktop, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Wait a minute, and he goes and you just hear him yelling from the bathroom.
Oh, that's really funny.
It was a good advertisement for it. I don't know if it's advertisement, but he was just doing it.
Yeah, that's funny, man. And it really is crazy. And speaking of, before we get into PUBG stuff, I want to mention one more tech thing. And sorry if you guys are only here for PUBG stuff. I'll put a Sometimes I stopped doing it all the time because I thought like we switch topics so much. But on
Yeah.
this one, I'll put some timestamps on the YouTube video if you guys are listening there. Um, but you know what I saw today? Everyone was like unboxing on YouTube this week. All like celebrities that they give it out to. Samsung dropped their new phone. It's like the Fold. The Fold. It's called FOLD. The Fold. And it's
Oh
a
yeah.
foldable phone. And like, there's some big
Yeah.
YouTube channels. One of them is Unbox Therapy, where he unboxes all these things. Casey Neistat got one. He's partnered with like Samsung, so they were doing
Yeah.
like reviews of the phone, and it was really interesting. But
Yeah.
I was like really calling bullshit on this phone, dude. I mean, maybe I'm just being a hater, but they were like reviewing it, and I get it. Like they have a partnership with that company, so they're not gonna like shit on it. But it
Yeah. I'm
literally looks
watching.
so dumb to me. It looked literally so dumb. And they're showing the colors. It looked like a Nintendo DS, basically. It was a Nintendo DS. You know, and they're like, it's just so sleek and this. I'm like, dude, that looks like the ugliest fucking phone I've ever seen in
Wow.
my life. It's like so stupid looking.
It,
And then it has a huge crease in it. And they're like, and I get the crease was probably not that bad, but like it's so not functional. I mean, I like the idea of it and I get why they're praising it because it's like it could be the future. But I just, I
it's
don't
not
know,
there
man. I
yet.
did not see it at all. And it's $2,000. So I'm like, who is I mean, obviously, everyone's gonna think you're cool if you have this phone. Or like, I talk to you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what kind of phone is that?" But then like, no, I'm just gonna go use my iPhone, dude.
Oh no,
I don't know.
100%. Actually, it's funny if you Google Samsung Fold, it's like the top articles is like Samsung Fold breaks for reviewers. Samsung Fold blame breaks after 2 days. Dude, oh my god, yeah, this video is just this half the screen is just blinking and shit. It's just like
Yeah, but you should see when it's folded, it literally looks like a DS, and the colors are really, really weird. Like they're not like professional. Like not that it needs to be professional, but it looks more for like kids. But I don't think there's like any kids that are buying a $2,000 phone. So I'm like, I don't really get this.
I just don't. Yeah, I mean, I saw it, and the thing is that sketched me out about that phone, and we don't need to talk about this for too long. Was like, then they first like released it a couple of months ago, or like released like images of it. They
Yeah,
weren't letting anyone touch it. Like, you know what I mean? There's like such like, it was like they're hiding it. They're like, we won't, you can't touch it. Is like behind like they weren't giving anyone the phone like tech, like Business Insider, Tech Insider or whatever it
interesting.
is. Like all those guys that no one was getting to actually hold it or touch it, fold it, play with it, and now they're giving it to people and they're like, oh, it's breaking. So
Hmm,
it's just funny that
it
like
is
this is.
weird.
I
In,
just
in
don't know
some in
why they
some
wanted it
instances,
so
the
bad.
screen all the way open does look pretty good, but the front screen looks like so weird. I don't know. The whole thing it just looks. Maybe I'm just wrong,
Yeah.
but it's just my personal opinion. So hey, I can't be
No,
wrong.
I mean I'm looking at it now, and it does look weird to the front screen. It doesn't
It's
look
like really
terrible.
thin. It's like really narrow. I'm like, I don't know,
When you
man.
fold it, yeah, you kind of see
It's
the
like an iPad.
crease.
I mean, I get that part, but it just
It doesn't look bad, the fold, but like I think the issue is going to be like I think I had read that like it like will break after so many, you know what I mean? Like it will break after so many folds. They just haven't. It's just not there yet, I guess. But
yeah.
it does look cool. It doesn't look bad when it's completely unfolded.
No, no, no. Open, it looks
Maybe this
fine.
guy's playing a
It
game.
looks great open. Honestly, it does. It looks like an iPad, but a little smaller, more functional. But to me,
Yeah.
folded, it just looks really weird.
Yeah, it
Like it
does. I don't
reminds
know.
me of it reminds me almost like they're going back in time. Like it reminds me of like a sidekick or like an old phone, like an old flip
Yeah.
phone. Like it to me, yeah, it's almost like they went back in time and just made a flip phone. I'm like, what?
Yeah, with
What?
like with this like weird screen that like somehow attaches to each other. Like
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. I mean, it looks cool, a little cool, but it's definitely not for me.
Yeah, I don't know where the future of phones is going to go. I think they're in a pretty good place. All I know is that I think just to end it, I guess here is that it seems like eventually, to me, I don't even know if we'll really have computers anymore because it's going to get so exponentially powerful that like you can have basically like what a desktop used to be in your like. I mean, some phones are better than desktops, but I mean like you might be able to have a gaming desktop power in a phone in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like some just ridiculous amount of power in a phone. Who
Oh,
knows?
100%.
Yeah, yeah, who knows? So I just think that that's where it's going, but I just don't know if that is going to be like a foldable thing. I think it's more going to be like I think eventually we're going to have a phone that plugs into almost anything, like plugs into a TV or into a thing, and then you can use that monitor, almost any monitor that's around, and then it becomes more of like a traveling desktop, or literally instead of just being like a mobile phone. But that's just in my head. But
No, I agree. I mean, I mean, dude, the only thing is that if you Google something and the first few articles are exactly like it broke, that's not usually
Yeah,
good.
but I guess they're trying to, again. It's kind of like it would almost be hypocritical. Like they're almost being like Xbox. They're trying to
Yeah, they're taking
they're
a risk.
they're taking a
I
risk,
like
and I
it.
credit them for doing it. And obviously, it's like I don't think they're not like getting rid of all their phones and just putting all of their eggs in this basket. So
No,
I'm not like
yeah.
trying to shit on them completely, but when I just saw these reviewers being like, "This phone is so amazing," I'm like,
Oh,
"What?"
it's so fake.
I'm
Yeah, it's
like,
so
"Dude,
fake.
are you for real?" But I mean, who
Considering
knows?
all the like actual review, like people doing this stuff, are like looking at articles, like they're all breaking and shit.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll move on for that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hopefully, people, I won't get too much hate for that, but definitely interesting Google Samsung foldable phone. And then with all of that, let's talk about some PUBG stuff, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
So today, PUBG stream. Was pretty good. I was playing a lot of duos today. I had a crazy 16 kill win today, but 4 of them were AFK, so it was kind of fake. But I
Wow.
was my duo teammate left me in the beginning of the match, and he literally did. I went to invite him into the game because we were going to interview him as a joke, and he was on HBO Go in the plane, and then I was sending him invites, and then he never jumped out of the plane, and then he just disconnected, and I kept checking back, and he was just watching HBO. We're like, dude, he's watching Game of Thrones. He bailed on me to play Game of Thrones, like left me by myself. And I ended up giving him a free win. I went on and had the craziest game ever, and I clutched this game. It was like me versus 4 players. All of the 4, it was 5 people left, and the 4 players were all looking at me, and I killed them all. It was ridiculous. It was.
You should have messaged him like, "Don't worry, dude. I won the game for us."
I should have actually sent a message like, hey, by the way, when you were watching Game of Thrones before, I won you in that game. But yeah, I just wanted to start with that because I thought it was funny. But all right, so let's get into this. Let's start with patch number 28. So this is for PC, but obviously, like I always say, this stuff is going to trickle down to console. And something that I think is interesting here in patch 28, which isn't live yet, it's coming next week to PC, is that they're making some tweaks to the previous update. So what I'm hoping for, obviously I don't know this, is that because the previous update, patch 27, isn't on console, that because they're tweaking it, like if they decide these tweaks are right, that we can just skip that phase completely. So this might help us catch up because we could like leapfrog an update. Basically, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, we
And
won't have the issue that they have. Hopefully.
yeah, and basically, it was interesting to hear. Hawkins was in the chat today, one of the community managers from PUBG on PC, and it was funny when he was watching. I got killed by a guy, and we were spectating him, and he had that magazine glitch where the magazine is like over his head. You know what I'm talking about? The floating magazine, the
No.
clip. You've definitely seen it before, dude. Like
Probably
on
have.
console all the time, people have this thing where you're running around and there's like
Mhm.
there's like a magazine floating above your head, like an actual like AR magazine, a clip
Yeah.
floating above your head like 5 feet. And I've actually seen it where like it gives away someone's position over a rock. It's like floating. And so
Oh, like it has over other people's heads.
yeah, like over other people's enemies' heads. You can like see a floating magazine over their head. It's like some weird glitch.
Yeah.
And so we were spectating a person, and everyone was like, "Dude, yeah, like what's going on here, man?" And he was saying that was actually coming in like a fix soon. And then he was saying that like all that stuff really does come like right down to console. Like they literally just take the patch and pretty much move it over to the same
Yeah.
code. So I'm hoping that. That this, like I said, just gets leapfrogged, and that it kind of shows you that it just really does flow down. That's pretty much what's going on here. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Huh.
And
Yeah.
hopefully we got the update on Xbox. Well, when was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think it was in the beginning of April when they extended April 6th. I think they extended the Candy Pass and we got that update. So it was like 2 weeks ago. So hopefully we get something in May. But for right now, what's coming into this, which is a pretty big like update to the game, is weapon masteries, where they're going to track your stats now for weapons. And yeah, what's cool is they show you like one of the screens here has your last match, so you can see like in this screenshot they have you had a mutant, or the player did a mutant, the S12K pistol with a grenade, and you can see like how much damage you did, how many headshots you got that round, and then it starts tracking your stats on all those guns. And then the more you level up, you can become you can level up the tiers of every gun that you have. You can become a master, and you can also earn different like keychains or charms for your weapon, which are just things that go on the side, which they added to Call of Duty now. I think in some other games, like little charms on the side, or in Rainbow Six Siege, I think has them.
Yeah.
And Call of Duty has the stuff where like you can engrave your like
Put an
clan tag
emblem.
and stuff, and emblem on the gun. So stuff like that is cool, and eventually, I'm sure they're asking for feedback that they're going to be including some other stuff in this, maybe skins, or maybe, like I said, maybe some kind of emblem on your gun or something like that, which would be pretty cool. I know that they added that one skin on PC where it counts how many kills you have on it. So eventually, I would expect to see some more of that stuff on PC and then down to Xbox. And I think this is cool. Like, to me, the first thing I thought of is I would love to level up like a really weird gun, like the micro Uzi, and have like a little charm flying around on the micro Uzi when I kill somebody. Like, I thought that'd be kind of cool.
I remember that. I mean, that's like how Black Ops 2 was. It was like you'd always go up to the golden weapon, and I mean, gold, diamond, and everything. So
Yeah, they still have that now. It just got out of
do.
control. They have like molten lava skins.
Yeah,
like,
they have
oh
some
my God.
weird things in
Yeah,
there.
which is cool, I guess. But like, I like kind of keeping it traditional.
It was
Like,
overkill at that point, but yeah, it's well, for me at least. But yeah, I think that's a good way to like kind of make people use different guns for sure.
yeah, I
Kinda
mean,
challenge
some people might
themselves.
not care at all about the charms, but to me, like, just to track, like, okay, I'm at level 100 already with the AKM. I'm gonna start using like this gun or something. Like, well, I don't know. Any stuff like this to me, it's great because for the casual player who doesn't care, you don't need to care. And if you're like really into this stuff, you can like kind of achievement hunt or like try to get all your guns mastered. So I
Yeah,
think it's fun for everybody. That some of the charms look pretty cool. You can see them on the forum picture. There's like some metal ones. They have a Dino Park one. They have a PUBG figurine with the level 3 helmet and just some stuff related to that. And then they're also adding in some medals that you can earn for after the game, like getting a double kill or like a deal 300 damage in a single match. So I like that, adding some more stuff to that. I feel like some PUBG purists might not like that because they're adding more things like maybe the after action report, which is, again, kind of taking it to Call of Duty, like you said. But
yeah.
to me, I think all this stuff is fine. I have no issue with that.
No, yeah, I don't have an issue with it either. I think it's kind of good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. So this is they're calling this weapon mastery.
Hmm.
And I have a video on my channel now. If you guys are interested in like learning more about it, I kind of go through the whole post and update about it. And then after that, they're doing a second round of loot rebalance to Erangel. So so they initially buffed it up by like 40%, and now they're giving it a second go, and they're upping everything by a lot more now. So the total map is being increased by 28%, but then something like, for example, the sniper rifle is going to be increased by 177% on the map. So I'm interested to see. I almost think this is like too much, but it will be fun to play Erangel with more loot. And then if they need to tweak it back or something, they can. Or maybe even at this point, it'll still be low. Who knows? We'll have to just test it out to see. And this, again, isn't even live on PC right now. So we're going to have to see what happens. But I'm excited for this, man, because Erangel needs some love right now. The loot.
It does.
At first, I thought it
agree.
was okay. And like it was doable, but now I'm thinking like, dude, it's really brutal that
It
sometimes
sucks.
you can hit
Sometimes,
like
dude.
5 buildings and you just have a pistol, a bandage, a level 1 backpack. And you're like, what, dude? I got
Yeah, you
nothing.
might as well just like go home.
Yeah, and then at that point, like, it just makes me want to play more on Vikendi, even though I get tired of that map because I know at least I can get some guns and like have a better experience. So we got that change, and then they're also they made a big change to the sniper rifles last patch, and now they're toning them back. So they had upped the damage on all of the sniper rifles, but with that, some of the sniper rifles
Yeah,
were getting crazy. The AWM
yeah.
in the last patch
I
was,
was just reading that.
yeah, it was one-shotting people in the chest. Even if you
With
had
level 2 vest.
yeah, a level 2 vest on, you would just get one shot in the chest. So they toned that down now, and they're kind of bringing it back in line, but they still made it a lot stronger for headshots for the other sniper rifles, and now the AWM is kind of back in line again. I think the sniper rifles did need a little bit of a buff, so that made sense. I mean, again, on stream today, I hit like someone 3 times with the M24 and they didn't die. I just like don't understand how that's possible. You know, in the end,
Oh, the Mark 24.
yeah, the M24 sniper. Like
Yeah.
I hit somebody
Yeah, it's never cool.
3 times in the chest. I mean, I'm guessing one of them hit their arm or something, but I'm like confused. I don't get how. I know it's not a headshot, but like 3 times to the chest in that
Three
area
times.
is
Yeah,
like,
three
come on,
times.
man.
I feel like 3 times with any sniper rifle should put someone down.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, and they've been tweaking that, you know, how the gun damage works. Like before they were having issue, like if you got shot in the wrist, like it wouldn't hit the person in the, say like the player's wrist went in front of their chest and you got shot in the wrist. Before, like months ago, the bullet wasn't going through the wrist that they wanted it to, but the coding was off. So now they allegedly switched it, but I did read somewhere that they're still kind of having like issues with that sometimes. So I think
Yeah.
they're going to continually keep to improve that, like how the coding works and like hit registration. So that could play a part of it too, because the person's running, so you might hit their hand and you think that you hit their head or their chest or something. So that's interesting. And then, my bad, I don't want to keep going if I'm like interrupting. You got anything to say?
No,
about that?
I think
my fault.
the hit detection's all over the place sometimes. Actually, when we were playing the other night, I was shooting a guy with the AUG, and my crosshairs were right on him. There was no blood splatter whatsoever, and all of a sudden he got knocked, and we were like, "Whoa!" Like Day was watching, he was just like, "Dude, what?" He's like, "You were right on him," and he's like, "I didn't see any blood splatter, but then he got knocked," and I was like, "I didn't see any blood splatter either. It wasn't just like you monitoring in latency or something."
Yeah, definitely some weird desync stuff going on console. That's for sure. It's been pretty bad. That I've seen that happen a few times. Even spectating people, I'm like, this guy's unloading. I know spectating causes some issues. So I guess I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
but,
it was spectating, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I didn't see it either. I was like, dude,
weird.
my crosshair was right on him, and then he dropped, and I was like surprised. I was like, wait, I actually knocked him. I was like, I didn't think I was getting hit registration.
Yeah, there's that is so weird, man, and it's frustrating because you could have ended up dying there, and you would have been like, bruh,
what just happened?
Yeah, I didn't see anything right there. So that is kind of frustrating, man.
Yeah, so
all right, so moving on from that, they're just updating some. I'm just going to skim through the rest of the updates here just to talk about it. They're updating some sound improvements to the game, smoke grenades, some visual effects. They're adding like better lighting for the cars when you get into the car, the headlights, the dashboard, and some updates to Survivor Pass number 3. Some of the missions, the missions on PC have always been more difficult than console, it seems like. So they're toning down some of the missions because some people were complaining about them being too hard. So they're just making some tweaks all around here to like everything, which I think is pretty cool. And then something that is definitely like a nice UI change is that on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, when you see your team, like the squad list right there, you can see everybody's health. They're going to add their boost bar, so you can tell when your teammates are going to are boosting or when they have full boost or whatever.
Yeah, that looks good. That's interesting.
Again, I think stuff like that, it's not a huge deal, but it's just like really nice, small little things that they're adding. And I like that.
Nice details.
Yeah, plus it's nice, like, sometimes you don't know when your teammate takes a med kit or first aid, and they're at 75% health. Like, you don't know if they popped an energy drink and are slowly getting back up to 100, or maybe they forgot or something. So it's like a nice way you could be like, dude, take an energy drink, or I was saying and I made a video about it, like, you can know, like, all right, we're going to a final battle, like, everyone boost up, and you're like, hey, all right, Andrew, boost up, like, you don't have any boosters, like, you can kind of remind somebody to take some boosters right before you fight.
Yeah, it just adds a layer to there. Yeah. It doesn't hurt anything at all.
No, for sure. Definitely doesn't hurt anything. And that's pretty much in terms of like major updates. A lot of other stuff is just like PC things and bug fixes, replay system, and spectator mode. So I think we can skip over that for now. So this is a pretty exciting patch, though. It might not sound like a whole lot, but between the weapon mastery and a lot of changes here, Erangel loot changes, UI changes, like, with every update, the game is feeling really good, and there was a lot of stuff on. There was a lot of good press from like YouTubers over the past like 2 weeks. Just in case you guys aren't in the scene, like, I'm not claiming that I know it all or I follow all the YouTubers and I know the PC scene, because I really don't. I'm mostly just on Xbox. But from what I saw on Twitter and social media and on Reddit, a lot of people seem to be like, some YouTubers were like talking up PUBG again, that they like played it, the updates, and I think honestly, I've been saying this a lot, but I really believe that like PUBG is weathering the storm right now of like Firestorm, of Apex, all these games. And like a lot of people I feel like are just being like, that game is fun. Even I went on like an Apex forum yesterday or 2 days ago, and people were like, yeah, I had so much fun playing the game, but like I'm kind of over it now, so like I think, but like that from a lot of PUBG players, I mean, people hate on PUBG console because of the issues, but I feel like a lot of people are still coming back to PUBG. And some YouTubers and even Shroud and stuff like that I saw recently were playing PUBG again, maybe just for a day or so. But like it's still coming up, and I'm happy that that's going on, because I feel like these patches are really making a big difference for the game, and they've been slow but consistent. They're kind of like slowly winning the race again in a weird way.
I think that it's going to be, if we go to our Twitch look, real quick, might as well just jump there. It looks like.
And again, we do this every week. If it's your first time listening to the podcast, we just for fun, we go and check like what is the most popular games right now on Twitch. And obviously this doesn't show the player base, but this is just showing like how many people, like what the community thinks of the games right now. Like what's the Twitch community watching? What are they interested in? So what's going on there?
So it looks like one is Grand Theft Auto for what
Okay, and they've been that way the last three
some.
weeks actually. So Grand Theft Auto's
Yeah,
been made a huge comeback recently.
yeah, no, I don't get it. It's got like Alan Zoko has the 40,000 viewers and Summit 1G
Wow,
with
he's been on
37,000.
all each time we do the podcast. He's on at night
Summit,
streaming
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto.
yeah. So then Fortnite's in second, and it looks like I don't know any of these people. Nick Merckx, yeah, no, I don't know any of these people. Cypher PK, hey,
Yeah, that guy's pretty
um,
famous. Has the same name
yeah,
as you.
just not as cool as me.
And
League of
League of
Legends
Legends,
in
crazy.
third,
League of Legends always there.
yeah. Then Overwatch, there must be some Overwatch event going on. Yeah, it looks like there's an Overwatch event, 2019 season stage 2. And then Rainbow Six Siege has Shroud playing right now, and he's got 21,000 viewers.
So he's pretty
So
much propping up Siege.
yeah, and then you have Counter Strike, which is usually there's an ESL going on. Some of the game looks like, and
Yeah.
then PUBG's in 15th.
PUBG's pretty
Which is
far down.
good.
Choco Taco's always at the top of PUBG.
Yeah, he has 5,000 viewers. I mean, he does well. I like Choco Taco.
Yeah,
Choco Taco.
yeah. It's a
Yeah,
great name
they're
too.
in 15th. I remember there was a while though that PUBG was just not even on this list at all. Like it was so far down. We were like,
Yeah, and again, I think
we're like, where is it?
yeah, and again, I think like this late at night, like at this time frame, there's just again, if you check like again, I check in the morning a lot, and PUBG is usually so much higher in the morning.
Yeah,
So I feel like it's just maybe more people play in Europe, and it's hard
yeah.
to say, but I
It's
think
definitely
right
more of a
now like the
European
U.S.
game.
market is definitely big on obviously still like Fortnite and some of those games for sure. So
Yeah, I think that's a lot. I just think PUBG does better overseas. In reality, it's just the way it is. I mean, the games that are ahead of PUBG right now, I think, are more like some of them are more temporary games like Sicario, Shadows Die, whatever, twice.
yeah, and there's like World War Z, that new zombie game that came out, which is like Left
Yeah,
4 Dead
I
kind
think
of.
I mean, Tom Clancy's The Division. Those are games that aren't necessarily like long term
No. I mean,
games, in my
they
opinion.
could be, but probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, they're not, and I mean they could be, but I don't think the Division does have like a lot of replayability in it. I'm sure the Sicario is not like you know what I mean. It just doesn't have the online. And
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege has 21,000 of its viewers are from Shroud, so
Yeah,
you
no,
know
but
what I
Rainbow
mean.
Six is definitely stuck around, so
Oh,
they're definitely there.
it's a
For now.
competitive game.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's a very competitive game. So Counter Strike and Siege, I think, are very closely related. Well, they
yeah.
are. No, they're not the same makers. Duh.
What's crazy
They're
is
very close.
Blackout is pretty low. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
viewers on Blackout.
yeah. I think that them coming out with the next Call of Duty, they announced that, and it's just a shot in the face. I just don't think people know what to do with it. Like they added that Alcatraz map, and it still didn't really create much noise for the game.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I feel like I need to.
We should give it a shot, but
Yeah, we definitely should.
I'm just kind of this is kind of sad to me that it's just kind of like they can't generate. They have to create a new game to generate noise. I think
Yeah.
people are just burnt out from it.
Yeah,
So
people.
they
Yeah,
can
I
play
think
it for
people
a
are.
month and then burnt.
Yeah, I think they are kind of burnt out, and like some people in the stream said, like, "Oh, that thing was really fun," but then after a while, they said it just kind of feels like you're playing regular multiplayer again. So
Yeah.
because you have like 5 lives or whatever it is, and
Yeah, it's just a bigger multiplayer map. Yeah.
yeah, almost it must play almost kind of like a search and destroy where you play like hesitant but like not super hesitant because of the 5 lives, maybe that kind of vibe,
Yeah.
and that's cool. I mean, it's smart. It's a nice change up, but yeah, I think what really hurt Call of Duty is that people know there's another one coming out. So they're like, nah, I'm just gonna go play this game.
Yeah.
And then the
there's
fact
no
that
reason.
this year's been brutal with Apex and all that stuff. There's so many games out, and Apex is free, so having a game that costs money is like also a thing too.
It's such a poor. Yeah, and they just haven't reversed that scheme. So it seems like
Yeah, and you can see with the launch of Apex that was the way to go, and I'm sure they made a ton of money being free. Like that brought so
yeah,
much hype when Apex dropped. Like everybody was like thought it was awesome, and everyone was downloading it. That's definitely the way to go at this point.
yeah. It did have a lot of hype, but it also is pretty dead right now. I was thinking it would be pretty. It had the potential to usurp Fortnite, but it just kind of fell
It did
apart.
for like a second, but I think it's still pretty popular.
It is
I wonder,
definitely
it'd be
popular.
cool if you could see the player count, but yeah, I still think it's. But I know what you're saying. It seems like it's cooled off a little bit already.
Yeah, I think that game got really complicated. Or like, what was it like the meme that was going around that it was like kids are so good Apex now, it's unplayable for the average person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those games that it's so tough to play.
Yeah, when I was going for the superfecta on Tuesday of
Mhm.
winning a PUBG game, Apex game, uh, Firestorm game, and Blackout game all in one stream.
Yeah.
And the PUBG game was fantastic, dude. I did it in one game, 13 kills. It was
Yeah.
just ridiculous. So that was awesome. And then Apex, I hadn't played Apex in since February, and it was brutal getting back on Apex. Because now everyone knows how to play. I was so like, PUBG makes you such a slower player. And like,
Yeah.
if you go from Call of Duty to Blackout, from Call of Duty to Apex, easy, okay, or Fortnite to Apex, okay, that's fine, very similar. But
Yeah.
like
Very
going from
twitchy.
PUBG to that is like just so different. So it was brutal, and for the first, I didn't get a win for like 2-3 hours. It took forever, and
Yeah.
that really slowed down my like stream. Um, but I eventually did it with like randoms. But it was fun playing, and I enjoyed it towards the end. But in the beginning, it was kind of brutal getting back
It was
into it.
probably frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, and then Firestorm. Just to finish that thought, like I ended up winning Firestorm in like 5 games, so that was pretty easy too.
I didn't even
Um,
see Firestorm on this list.
the Battlefield 5, that's true. I don't
Way
even
down
see
there.
it.
It's
I
way down.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't even see it on there. Wow.
Has 1.5 thousand viewers. It's just not a popular game to stream. I feel like it's just, either the multiplayer is like big long games and it's
Yeah, well,
fun
the,
to
the
play.
the battle royale was cool because it's not that fast. I mean, not that long. It's like 25 minutes. I kind
Yeah,
of
but
like that, but it's kind of boring, and there's not that much going on in the game. The map is boring. I'm just gonna say it. The map is boring.
the Battle Royale
The
map,
the
yeah.
map is beautiful. Looks so good. And honestly, playing Firestorm and then going to play Blackout, you realize like how cartoony and like Blackout looks and how weird it is. And Firestorm looks so
Yeah.
good, but the map, the actual terrain is fun to walk around. So like, I don't mean to like be shitting on them, but like the actual buildings and towns, like there's not a lot going on. So it gets like
Yeah.
I basically just like get my loot and I like stay somewhere and I just camp because out of like there's nowhere to go. Not even because I want to camp. I'm just like I have no idea where I even want to go right now.
Yeah. There's not much in that map
Yeah,
from
it's
what
not.
I remember playing.
Yeah, there's not that much going on. And then I tried to play Blackout in the Superfecta, I was calling it, but I had already been streaming for like 5-6 hours, so then I just played 2 games and I called it quits. But I made it like
Quitter.
I was like so burnt out. I was like, dude, I gotta stop. I gotta make dinner.
Yeah, I know
But
what you mean.
I want to try it again, and I think I'd have a better shot this time.
Yeah, it's hard to say which game to start with. I mean, you won the PUBG one pretty quick, right? So that was good.
Yeah, we did a poll like, what did everybody think is the hardest game? And obviously, it was PUBG. People voted PUBG, but everyone in the stream plays PUBG, so I think it's kind of like lopsided. But I think that like in all honesty, if you hadn't played any of the games, like because basically that's what happened to me. Like I was basically a noob at Apex, and
Yeah.
I've barely played Firestorm, and I haven't played Blackout in 2019, I don't think. And in all of those games, like
Agreed.
I got kills. Like I got kills in Apex, even though I was losing. I got killed in Blackout. I won in
Yeah.
Firestorm. But if you haven't played PUBG in like a year or something, or like 2 months or 3 months, like that game is pretty hard to get back on and get a win in. Especially because of the no auto aim and stuff. But I don't know. Apex,
Yeah.
Blackout can be kind of hard sometimes because people are really good at Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the
I,
hardest is.
I think that if you had to pick up a game, if you had to pick up a battle royale, PUBG would be the hardest just to pick up from right off the ground.
If you haven't played any video games in the
Yeah.
past.
If you played video games avidly and then you're like, oh, which battle royale should I play? And like,
Yeah.
whatever, PUBG would be the hardest
It's
to
it's
pick up.
yeah, it's just,
Depending on how you play, but I think for the average person, like that's why they go towards Fortnite. Like Fortnite's fairly simple to play.
yeah, except for like again, it's like Apex and
Building.
Fortnite have like the building and like character mastery and like high fast like Twitch stuff, but so it's like it's they're all kind of difficult. I don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I
really
agree.
sure.
I mean, you're right. It's just definitely
Well, because the stream made some really good points for PUBG, but then I was thinking to myself, like, in PUBG, you could accidentally shoot somebody because, like, people don't have that much armor. But in Apex, dude, I was hitting somebody, like, 10 times with a shotgun and they didn't die. I'm like, dude, no noob is going to, like, get a kill with a shotgun in a game. So I was, like, getting
Yeah.
frustrated by it.
I don't. I mean, that's true. I guess.
because the shields and all that stuff. But some of the yeah, I mean, I could talk about that stuff forever because we were talking about the weapon balances and stuff in those games. And everyone had like a pretty different opinion about that, but we can move on from that. I wanted to read a thing here. So
Yeah.
we did a all right, so let's just recap what we were doing. So we got patch 28. We got did we talk about the ban policy yet? Not really. We didn't go over that.
No, not really.
So we'll do that next. So we got the PUBG patch 28, the weapon masteries, all that stuff. We were talking about what games people are watching right now. I think PUBG is going to make a comeback a little bit this summer. I really believe that with all these updates. And I think if they can get the loading issues, I don't know if it will ever happen, but if they can fix the loading issues ever, I feel like that will cause so many people to stop complaining. I mean, people will always complain, but I feel like that would help a lot. So I think that covers us to now. And I want to read this poll that I posted yesterday, but we'll talk about this ban policy. So basically PUBG posted a revised ban policy that onto their site. And basically I think they're doing this because really in the past they haven't done a great job of banning people. And I really don't know what's changed here. They didn't announce like how they're going to be tracking this or anything. So I'm a little skeptical, but the big announcement was that they've increased the way that they're increased what they're going to be doing, and they're going to be announcing all these bans really soon as of April 2019. Like a ban wave is basically going to come in and affect the community. And it's kind of interesting here because they've stepped all the stuff up, because I think in the past people pretty much took it as a joke. Like they've reported people for teaming, people have reported for team killing, all this stuff. And even to the point where like Day in the stream the other day recognized somebody in a match for cheating. He was like, that guy's a cheater, and we were watching him and he was cheating.
What was he doing?
It was crazy. Someone sent us clips of this guy who was he was spectating him because he died to him, so he had his view, and the guy was just looking at the ground shooting, and he was killing people, and he won the game. It was clearly not desync. Like no, it was like the circle it wasn't the final circle, but it was closed in. It was pretty small, and he was just behind a rock pointing at the ground, and he killed like 4 people, and then the game ended. And you're like, wow, dude, he didn't move at all. He wasn't seeing through the rock. He was pointing like straight down. It didn't make any sense. He was just shooting into nothing.
It wasn't even fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a kid, you get some like giggles out of it, but yeah, it's lame. So now I hope that they're doing something here, but again, like I don't really know how they're gonna track some of this stuff, because like it's hard to report people for teaming. How do you really know? I mean, unless it's been like repeated, teaming and stuff like that. But anyways, the stuff that they're going over here is they're going to permanent ban if you get caught using any kind of unauthorized programs. There's been some talks about like radar hacks. So you're going to get permanently banned. Very common. Yeah, if you use any of that stuff. Some people are kind of guessing that this could count like keyboard and mouse, but I really don't think it's going to. I think it's I think they need to. A lot of people got hyped when they announced this. So like, oh, all the mouse and keyboard players are going to get banned and whatever. But I don't know if that's actually the case here. They didn't explicitly say that here, and I feel like they would need to explicitly say that in one of the boxes, because there are some mouse and keyboard users out there. And while I don't want people to be using mouse and keyboard, I just think that they need to be more explicit on this. And it is approved by Microsoft, so they're in a weird spot. I think PUBG doesn't really allow it, so maybe they will start banning people to play PUBG, but I don't know how that's really going to work because it's on Microsoft platform. So to me, that's a little bit more tricky. I think most people think that this is cut and dry, but to me, it's not. And I need to hear that from PUBG, whether they're going to do that or not. So that's the first one. And then if you do any kind of modification of the game client, permanent ban. Exploiting bugs or glitches in the game, you get a 3-day ban, and they might they might get rid of any kind of season rewards or acquired BP that you got from any like gameplay when you got the glitches. And then same thing if it's a major bug or glitch, 30-day ban. And then this stuff goes down pretty fast. Like the next one is increased days and then permanent ban. And I guess it doesn't seem like there's really a permanent ban for any of the minor glitches. I think they're just going to keep banning you time wise. And then you can read down the list here. You can Google this yourself. There's just like teaming, 14-day ban, 30-day ban, and then permanent. Team killing. They're going to be giving some serious bans here, like 7 days for team killing, 30 days permanent ban. And then they're getting pretty strict on harsh language, gameplay interference, stalking, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think they mean here like maybe following people in the games or stream sniping if it's bothering you and you're reporting it. And then if you use another person's account, or like, stealing someone's account, that's a permanent ban. So that makes sense. And
Yeah. I mean, that does make
again,
sense.
yeah, I mean, these are pretty strict, but I'm happy about it. I just hope that they have a good way to track it, because that could be a pain in the ass. People being like, dude, I didn't do anything.
I know they have a hard time making sure they count the right things for challenges. So
Yeah, let alone this. Yeah, totally.
so we gotta find out. Well, we'll see, I guess. Imagine you get banned for something that like really had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, because I'm like, man, I go into so many games. So many people say they see me in games. Like, oh, you were in my game yesterday. You were in my game yesterday. So like, if I'm in the same game with all these people all the time, like, I hope nothing happens to people I play with or me or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that would just be so weird.
It is kind of weird that we see that many people in games. I feel like it's like, what are we, like the same 150 people playing this game?
Yeah, and I know sometimes it is when I'm streaming, so they could be sniping me, but a lot of times it's not. It's when I'm not even streaming, when I'm just playing with you guys, and we like that happened when me and you were playing, and we killed people that we knew, and I wasn't streaming. It was late at night, and we just ran into people that we knew, and they were the last people we killed for the dinner. So like it happens all the time. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I it's like it surprises me a lot, to be honest with you. I never would have thought that.
Yeah, and I don't know how PUBG's doing it, because it's not like everyone we're playing with or that we run into is like from the East Coast. Like when I ask people where they're from, or like when we're in the same game, or even when I invite randoms to talk to me in duo chat, like they're from Canada, they're from Mexico, Germany. Like I've been matching with people all over the place. It's not like they're just matching us with people in the US.
What's the point of the
East
server
Coast.
locations if you're matching for people in different countries?
They dropped the
not different
servers
countries.
now. They just base it off of like
Whatever's
connection
available.
and who's available. Yeah, they kind of dropped the server location now.
Wow,
So
that's kind of funny.
yeah, I think they're we're having an issue with that stuff, with like queues, and they're still having it with first person queues and stuff. But it's been fine for third person. I haven't had to wait really at all. So
No, I feel like we never really wait. I don't think that's going to be very much of an issue.
I hope not. I hope not. But I
at
think that's
least.
definitely why they're keeping away map selections still on console for the most part.
Yeah, probably. I would agree.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to recap here on that? So we got the player ban.
Not really. I mean, I think it was like it's an update that wasn't really I feel like for that just because it's like it looks like they're just retweaking the update for 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think the Zima is a cool car. Just to think about the things that are in console now. The Zima was cool. The motor, the bike.
Yeah, no major issues with the motorbike. That had some problems on PC at first, but that's been working fine.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything's been good. I just think that was that weird when we were playing.
Yeah.
Where I was just like shooting a guy and no blood. I think everything else has been fairly okay. I haven't had any weird, super weirdness. I'm just trying to think.
For the most part, flying bodies, stuff like that, but nothing too game breaking. Just a little bit of desync here and there.
Yeah.
So I made this poll yesterday. We do a poll every day on the YouTube stream, and some of them have been pretty good. Some of them have been really funny lately. And then this week we've had some good like PUBG related ones that were pretty good. And I posted this one on Twitter, and this one got some pretty good traction, a lot of responses and stuff like that. I don't have a big Twitter following, so to have a lot of people respond and like it was fun, because again, like I just don't have a big following. But so this is cool. So I asked it, and this was from the stream. So I asked in the stream, 2-part question here, 2 polls on YouTube. Would you want a new map in 2019? And the selections, the answers were yes, no, or maybe. It was yes, no, maybe so. And 85% of the people in the stream, which again is going to be mostly a lot of PUBG fans. We have people who play Apex, Call of Duty, all that stuff in there. But from the people that voted, 85% said yes, and 0 said no, and 15% said maybe. So I said like any time in 2019. It doesn't have to be now. It could be the very end. So most people were basically saying yes, which I was kind of surprised. I want a new map eventually.
I saw that. Yeah.
I was surprised that it was that many people. And then the next question here was, what size should the next map be? And it was the largest map size ever, Erangel size, so just like regular large, in between Vikendi and Sanhok, or smaller than Sanhok, and 55% of the votes went to in between Vikendi and Sanhok, which makes the most sense, I guess. And then after that was Erangel size with 26%, and then the remaining 20 was split between the two polar opposites of like the two extremes, excuse me, of the largest map ever and smaller than Sanhok, which is what I voted for. But it was crazy. A lot of people were saying like who voted for these, but I think like a lot of people do kind of want a new map. But I think what people are worried about is that if you bring a new map into the game, it's only going to hurt like queue times if there's map selection for PC. We don't have that on console, but I was thinking that could create problems because then now you're dealing with 5 maps and all the playlists, you know?
That's why I'm thinking, like, dude, having a map of the month or map of the week.
I love that idea, dude. I love the map. I know you said like we don't have faith with PUBG like updating on a weekly basis, but if they planned it out and just did map of the week, I think that would be awesome.
It doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be random, like.
Yeah,
even if you want to make it like constantly the same map the first week of the month, then that's fine. Just freaking make it so you get that like map, highlight a map a month,
or like every day whenever they set the time to change, like whatever they're based off like Korea time, like all the updates always happen at like 8 p.m. our time. Set it to where every day there's a map of the day. That's probably too ridiculous, but like anything like that, to just have one playlist that's like rotating and then have all the other ones in there or something like that. I don't know.
Make it challenge. Yeah, you have map of the month. You could have that month.
Yeah, you kind of cut out there for a second, but yeah, I said like map of the month. Yeah,
but map of the month, like you can have challenges based on map.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just spitballing here, bro. Maybe they should hire me.
we'll see.
Green here.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing, but I think they're on the right track, and I'm excited to. I really haven't been getting that bored of the game yet. I don't know. I'm still having fun. I think it needs a steady flow of updates, though. I'm not gonna lie, or the new Survivor Pass again. I mean, I'm happy that the Survivor Pass isn't live right now because I don't feel like grinding again. But like it definitely the updates definitely help you stay interested in the game. So
yeah, I agree.
I hope that another one is coming pretty soon.
Me too.
And we'll just go from there, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, man. All right, so I think that pretty much covers it, dude. You happy we just hit an hour even? I know we started maybe a little bit into there, but I think this is pretty solid. Another solid episode. This one is actually episode number 20. So we did it. We made it to 20. That's a pretty big milestone for us. I think just got a couple editing things to do on this episode.
I sneezed.
Pretty good. You sneezed and my cat made a loud noise, so then he knocked something over, so try to edit those two things out so you guys don't hear any background noise, and we'll fix that all up for y'all.
Game of Thrones Sunday again.
We didn't really talk about first impressions of that, but there wasn't that much, so we could just maybe do a quick thing. This
episode.
It was just an intro episode.
Good catch up of all the characters. I was just relieved that they weren't going to show like. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'm glad that they put everyone where they need to be to like make the story move forward. There's no like stupid in between stuff that we don't need to see. You know what I mean? Like they just put everyone where it needs to be, and now it's like okay, shit's about to like hit the fan. Like I'm glad I was worried there's gonna be some like in between nonsense, and I was like, okay, good. Like,
it's weird that it's happening so fast, but with this few episodes, it needs to happen this way. I would almost rather be slowed down and just really enjoy it. But if they're not gonna give us a full season, then they need to get this shit on the road. You're right.
Yeah, I think there was just stuff I knew that like if they put it in, I was like, this is not worth it. But so we'll see. I think that this week we'll have some good content.
Yeah, for sure. And we can talk about that next week. And so we will try to stay off any kind of spoilers. Definitely do not want to be part of that at all. But we want to definitely at least give our opinion on the episode for the podcast.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys for listening. Again, we appreciate it. And hopefully we have some fun stuff in store for you guys in the future. And upward and onwards into the 20s now, I guess we should say. Into the 20s. Here we come.
Gonna be legal soon. Actually, you are legal, but whatever. Well, thanks for joining us in the final circle.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for watching or listening. Peace.